90% of rabbit hunters are burning through $200 boxes of rimfire ammo every single season, and they still come home empty-handed. Not because they cannot shoot, because they are carrying the wrong tool. A quality PCP air rifle in .22 caliber will put lead downrange quieter than a screen door closing, hold sub-inch groups at 50 yards, and drop a rabbit clean without spooking the next three sitting 20 feet away. And the best part, you do not need to spend $2,000 to get there. In 2026, the budget PCP market has completely rewritten the rules. 5 rifles, all under $550, all capable of putting meat on the table at distances that would make a Springer shooter question everything he thought he knew. These are the top 5 best budget PCP air rifles for rabbit hunting in 2026. Let us get into it. Kicking things off at number 5, the JTS Airacuda Max. Street price is around $450 to $550. And the moment you wrap your hands around this rifle, you know immediately where every single dollar went. That thumbhole walnut stock is not just decoration. It is laser engraved, hand-fitted, and locks your shooting hand into a natural, repeatable position every single time you shoulder it. In a market drowning in hollow plastic, the JTS stands apart like a custom shop piece that wandered into the wrong price bracket. The 10-round rotary magazine is machined from solid metal, not polymer, not pot metal, actual machined metal. That detail alone separates it from half the rifles on this list. Cycles slick, seats positive, and feeds without drama whether you are pushing 22 cal or 25 cal lead downrange. Hard Air magazine documented a standard deviation of just over 3 feet per second across a full testing string, a number that proves the integrated regulator is doing its job with surgical consistency. Now here is the technical piece that makes this rifle earn its spot. That factory regulator is precisely calibrated to maintain a fixed output pressure, which means the pressure pushing each pellet out of that 18-inch barrel stays locked in tight, regardless of whether your bottle is riding high or running low. The result is that sub-half-inch grouping at 25 yards that JTS advertises and actually delivers. Throw H&N Barracuda Match or JSB Exact Jumbo at it. This rifle does not care. It eats both without complaint and keeps printing inside the same ragged hole. The trigger breaks at around 2 to 3 pounds with a crisp, glassy second stage that punches well above its class. Here is the deal breaker though. That handsome shroud wrapping the barrel, it is cosmetic. There are no integrated suppression baffles behind it. This thing is loud, noticeably loud compared to everything else on this list. JTS did thread the muzzle with a 1/2x20 UNF so you can bolt on a moderate, but that is extra money, extra hardware, and extra hassle you should not need at this price. If you are hunting pressure-sensitive farmland where noise discipline is non-negotiable, that is a real problem. But hang tight, because the rifle sitting at number 1 makes every single one of these compromises look completely irrelevant. Moving on, number 4 belongs to an American legend, the Crosman Prospect. Sets you back right around $350 to $400, and it brings something to the table that no offshore brand can fake. Decades of American engineering culture baked into every single component. This is not a rifle trying to impress you on a spec sheet. This is a rifle built to work. That all-weather synthetic stock in matte black is tough as a truck bumper. Mud, rain, morning dew soaking through the brush, none of it matters to the Prospect. You will outlast the weather every single time. The side lever action has been tightened up considerably over earlier Crosman designs, cycling with a smoothness that genuinely surprises first-time handlers. 10-round rotary magazine drops in clean, indexes positively, and keeps you in the fight without fumbling around in the dark at 5 in the morning. Now here is the mechanical story worth understanding. That 21.5-inch steel barrel is working hard for every foot-pound this rifle produces. Longer barrel means the expanding air column from the regulator has more time and distance to push that pellet before it exits the muzzle, translating directly into more velocity extracted from the same pressure. The integrated regulator holds output steady through approximately 30 to 40 consistent shots, pushing 22 cal lead up to 900 feet per second and delivering around 26 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. That is more than enough to anchor a rabbit clean out to 50 yards with a precise headshot. The factory suppression system integrated into that barrel shroud keeps things civil in noise-sensitive environments, and that 1/2x20 UNF thread at the muzzle means you can stack a full moderator on top if you need to go genuinely silent. The deal breaker here is the weight and that trigger. 8¼ pounds unscoped is a legitimate carry problem over a long morning of still hunting through heavy cover. Your arms will feel it by hour 3. And that factory trigger, functional, yes, but it lacks the crisp, defined break that precise headshots on a coin-sized target demand. It gets the job done, but it never lets you forget you are shooting a budget rifle. Stepping up the power, number 3 is the rifle that breaks every assumption you have ever made about what a short barrel can do. The Umarex Notos. The damage to your wallet is around $260 to $270, making it the most affordable entry on this entire list. But do not let that number fool you for even 1 second. This thing weighs 4 pounds. 4. You can shoulder it, sweep a hedgerow, and reacquire a second target faster than any other rifle here. That AR-style collapsible stock adjusts for length of pull in seconds, fitting a compact teenager or a fully grown 6-foot hunter without tools. For pushing through thick brush, hopping fences, and working fast in tight creek-bottom terrain where rabbits like to hole up, nothing on this list touches it. Here is what genuinely sets this rifle apart from every other carbine at this price. Umarex engineered that regulator to hold output at exactly 1,900 psi, and the real-world numbers prove it works. Hard Air magazine documented a standard deviation of just 2.35 feet per second across a full shot string. 2.35. That figure typically lives on $2,000 European target rifles, not on a $260 American carbine with an 11¾ barrel. The 3-baffle silence air suppression system strips the escaping gas so efficiently that this rifle is genuinely backyard friendly. Mouse fart quiet at the muzzle, with 22 cal lead printing sub 1-inch groups at 45 yards and keyholing at 25. The mechanic's insight here is the regulator output itself. By locking that intermediate plenum at a fixed 1,900 psi, regardless of what the main bottle pressure is doing above it, every single pellet receives an identical push. Consistent push means consistent velocity. Consistent velocity means your point of impact does not wander as your fill depletes. That is why a rifle with less than 12 inches of barrel shoots this well. Now the deal breaker, and it is a real one for serious hunting applications. That bottle holds 66 cubic centimeters of air. That gives you 21 shots per fill at full power. 21. That is 3 magazines. On a productive morning where rabbits are moving and opportunities stack up fast, you will burn through your fill before the action even heats up. Refilling in the field means breaking your stock, pulling out your pump or compressor, and hoping the rabbits wait around. Sound off below if you have ever run dry at the worst possible moment, because number 2 has a solution to that exact problem. Entering the elite tier, number 2 is the answer to every complaint you just heard about running dry in the field. The Umarex Gauntlet 2 SL. Street price lands right around $400 to $430. And when you pick this rifle up for the first time, the sheer mass of it tells you exactly what it was built to do. This is not a nimble carbine. This is a siege weapon. That bottle is the story. 24 cubic inches of air storage, the largest reservoir on this entire list by a country mile. Umarex pushed the pressure ceiling up to 4,500 psi, and the fixed regulator holds output at 1,900 psi, with a consistency that Field and Stream documented at just 4.2 feet per second standard deviation across a full testing string. The result is more than 70 full power shots per fill in 22 cal. 70. You could hunt an entire morning session, burn through 7 full magazines, and never once think about your air supply. That 28.5-inch barrel wrings every last foot-pound out of each shot. Pushing 18 grain 22 cal lead at 944 feet per second. The Gauntlet 2 SL delivers approximately 36 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. Throw that number at a rabbit out to 75 yards and the result is never in question. The side lever upgrade on the SL variant eliminated the heavy, grinding bolt throw that plagued the original Gauntlet. The new action cycles with a light, fluid pull that lets you stay behind the glass and reacquire your next target without breaking your cheek weld. Here is the technical mechanism driving all that shot count. The MLOK slots running the length of that forend are not just aesthetic hardware points. They give you a rigid, repeatable platform to mount a bipod. And on a rifle this heavy, a bipod transforms it from a burden into a precision instrument. Settle it into position at the edge of a field, dial in your 0 at 50 yards, and this rifle becomes a rabbit dispatching machine that will outshoot rifles costing 3 times the price. Closer to the crown, but not quite there. Here is the deal breaker. 8.5 pounds bare. Topped with a scope and a bipod, you are pushing past 10.5 pounds on your shoulder. If your hunting style involves covering ground, still hunting through timber, working fence lines, moving fast between spots, the Gauntlet 2 SL will grind you down by mid-morning. That single-stage trigger compounds the problem. It is functional but mushy, lacking the clean wall and crisp break that precise headshots on a coin-sized vital zone demand. And if you ever want to run lead slugs through it, the rotary magazine design creates feeding compatibility headaches that the competition simply does not have. And here it is, the throne, the Air Venturi Avenger. The damage is $350 to $450, less than the Gauntlet 2 SL, less than the Airacuda Max, and it outperforms both of them in every category that actually matters when a rabbit is sitting 45 yards out in a frost-covered field at first light. Here is why nothing else on this list comes close. Every single rifle below this rank forces you into a fixed configuration. The Notos is locked into 21 shots and a short barrel. The Gauntlet 2 SL is locked into a heavy, bench-bound platform with a regulator you cannot touch without pulling the entire action apart. The Airacuda Max is locked into a noise profile that requires you to spend extra money just to make it field ready. The Crosman Prospect is locked into a trigger that never quite delivers the precision its barrel deserves. The Avenger throws every single one of those limitations out the window. That externally adjustable regulator and externally adjustable hammer spring are the 2 most important features on any budget PCP rifle in 2026. Here is exactly how they work together. The regulator establishes a fixed output pressure from a sealed intermediate plenum, identical in principle to every other regulated rifle on this list. But unlike every other rifle on this list, you can reach down with your fingers right now and dial that output pressure anywhere from a whisper to a roar without touching a single tool or breaking the rifle down. Pair that with the hammer spring adjuster, which controls exactly how hard the striker hits the valve and how long it holds it open, and you have a 2-variable tuning system that no other rifle in this price bracket can touch. Want to chase rabbits through a suburban farm where noise discipline is everything? Wind the regulator down to around 1,500 psi, lighten the hammer spring, and the Avenger drops to approximately 22 foot-pounds, enough to punch through a rabbit skull cleanly without destroying the meat. quiet enough to keep the neighbors unaware, and efficient enough to stretch your shot count to 60 or 70 pulls per fill. Need to reach out and anchor a coyote at 100 yards the same afternoon. Wind that regulator back up toward 2,900 psi. Stiffen the hammer spring, and you are pushing 45 foot-pounds of raw energy downrange with 25 cal lead slugs. Same rifle, same afternoon. No tools, no guesswork, and the grouping backs up every single claim. Hard Air magazine documented .44 inches at 45 yards. That is tighter than the Gauntlet 2 SL with its giant bottle and 28-inch barrel. Tighter than the Airacuda Max with its precision machined metal magazine. Tighter than everything else here, from a rifle that costs less than most of them. The two independent pressure gauges, one for the main bottle, one for the regulator output, give you complete situational awareness of your air system at all times. No guessing, no surprises mid-hunt. The 10-round side lever feeds smoothly in 22 cal, and that 22 3/4-inch barrel gives the air column exactly the distance it needs to build consistent velocity before the pellet exits. Look, the plasticky synthetic stock is not going to win any beauty contests next to the Airacuda Max Walnut. And yes, dropping regulator pressure requires degassing the rifle first through the bleed screw, a procedure that demands discipline and attention to avoid destroying your seals. These are real limitations, but here is the deal. No other rifle under $500 on planet Earth gives you a field-tunable power system. 60+ shots on a low setting, sub-half-inch accuracy at 45 yards, and the flexibility to switch between rabbit hunting and coyote work between trips to the truck. The Air Venturi Avenger does not just win this list. It redefines what winning this list even means. 2026. The excuses are gone. 5 rifles, all under $550, all capable of putting a 22 cal lead pellet through a rabbit skull at 50 yards, with enough consistency to make your rimfire buddies question their life choices. The JTS Airacuda Max brings old-world craftsmanship to a new-world price point. The Crosman Prospect delivers American reliability without drama. The Umarex Notos proves that 4 pounds of carbine can shoot like a 10-pound tack driver. The Umarex Gauntlet 2 SL gives you a siege weapon that never runs dry. And the Air Venturi Avenger hands you a field-tunable precision instrument that grows with your hunting ambitions for years to come. Pick the tool that matches your terrain. Match your ammo to your target. Know your range. Respect the animal. The technology is there. The price is there. The only thing left is you behind the glass at first light. Keep your air tanks full, and I will see you downrange.